Watch me walk across that river.
I didn't grow up with disability, and I sustained a spinal cord injury in a car crash when I was 18. And so before the crash, I was acting. I loved theater, I loved performing, cheerleading, and blah, 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 dance, you know? And so afterwards, it was kind of like, well, the recreational therapists were like, well, what did you like to do for fun before? What did you want to be when you grew up and stuff? And it was like, I was a dancer and actor and nah. And they were like, oh, well, here's your voice command headset and there's a computer, you know, go play. And it was like, uh-huh.
Most people, when they see me and hear me, they don't see me. They see the tail first. They don't think, hey, is that the guy from Listen to This? And everything, yeah. They think, oh, there's the old fat guy. And they make fun of my voice. Then when I open my mouth, I say, hi, or fuck you. Then they see the person. What did you do? I say, I perform. And when I perform, I open eyes. Or slap it with several listeners.
I first became aware of Listen to Dis community arts organization in my work at the Artesian. And I think I looked at the job and the facility with these sort of wide eyes as like it's an accessible facility. I just sort of saw it as a place with an elevator and an accessible washroom, and I thought that was awesome. And I thought that was enough. And I'm learning more and more that it's so not.
And I mean, I think that that's a greater issue around the world, not just here.
I think the group has made an impact on me personally. It kind of puts your own personal situation, your own personal struggles into perspective. What you're going through seems like the end of the world, but then when you look at what somebody else that functions in a wheelchair, the obstacles that they deal with on a daily basis, it makes you stop feeling sorry for yourself pretty quick.
Yeah, when we just took the word of the organizers or, you know, somebody who worked in the building who said, oh yeah, it's accessible. It's accessible because you can get in the door. Doesn't mean that we can get on the stage or we can go to the bathroom, for example.
Yeah, The Other Ordinary has definitely opened people's eyes to the need to make stage spaces accessible, not just audience, right? Not just to watch the shows, but to actually perform on stage.
Because there are so many barriers that aren't just getting in the room. Something like 60% of disabled people are unemployed or underemployed. Because so many art forms are so prohibitively expensive, if not provided the support. When you're dealing with a community, working with a community where there are so many barriers already.
There are conversations being had around how are we making our art, how are we locking people out of being able to be part of making our art? How are we making the presentations of our work utterly inaccessible to a portion of the community? How are we making the hiring of art utterly inaccessible to a whole portion of the community? And what do we need to do about that? That conversation wasn't being had 10 years ago.
It's an interesting thing. We have this on our brochures and on our recognition for funding. Without you, there is no us. It seems a little odd because we're still here. And we could still do programming, just about. But with all of the logistics with disability, We actually couldn't. We couldn't afford to find a place that was fully accessible, truly accessible. We wouldn't be able to supply the transportation that we supply, which is a necessity if you want open access. We wouldn't be able to provide the healthy and diverse snacks and nutrition that we supply so that people don't have to worry about, reworking home care and other things.
So you're dealing with poverty barriers. You're dealing with food barriers because as soon as you're broke, you don't eat well. And as disabled people, if we don't eat well, it has some, for some people, some reasonably dire consequences.
I don't understand why you don't fall into this criteria, so you don't qualify for this funding. I don't agree with that. Who are you to say that this group of young people can't be like that group of young people? Because they're in chairs? Because they talk about their life experiences? It's theater. It's real life. It's all of that. They are artists, and they need to be recognized. And I don't believe that there's one person in the company that is going to sit still for that.
We have been told that the work we do is really nice, but what's it have to do with art? By a major funder in Saskatchewan. And that, from that amount of uneducated ignorance to funding a couple of creative projects that will actually put us out there more. There was some disruption there, I think, because we fought a little bit for the recognition. This is important because when we come through the lens of disability culture and our funders or our collaborators don't know what that is, we have a whole lot of distraction between what we're setting out to do and how or when or where we can do it. We have a lot of barriers to get through. We would like to change that for ourselves, but especially for the future generations and members of our organization, but also of the wider community of disabled people in our province.
I'm stronger every day. I've got my faith. I've got no time to waste to get to where I need to be. I got my back to the wall. Got nowhere to fall. I'm standing up tall. Watch me walk across that river. Look the devil in the eye.